Okay, we're speaking with Marco Polo Santiago and Elena de Troya from the band La Misa Negra. So much fun talking to you guys. Um, uh, what I'm just curious, what sort of, if you've encountered any sort of friction or anything from other, either other bands that play cumbia, or if you played in venues or gigs where there are other cumbia bands, or people who are familiar and listen to cumbia as the traditional stuff, and what they think of what you do, since what you're doing is, let's just say it, it's quite different than the traditional stuff.
Every
Marco.
now and again, there's someone that complains, but those are few and far between. Like something that comes up kind of more
not
often
really.
is like when like people come to see us and they expect to see like a typical cumbia band. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're familiar with the songs, but they want to go and they just want to dance on the dance floor, and they get annoyed because everyone around them is like jumping up and down, and they're getting, you know what I'm saying? And but those it's just those people are kind of at the wrong place, because I would say half of our music is straight ahead cumbia, but the other half is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like we make people
Yeah.
dance and sweat and do all of that stuff, So that's some people, you know, get turned off by some of that. But if you want to listen to straight up cumbia or go see a straight up cumbia band, like you got 100 options. You got hundreds of options for that. We don't need to be another one. So we're trying to do our own thing.
Yeah, but also I'd like to say that I've seen so many people just stare and watch us because they don't know what to do. It's like, is this? I thought we came here to see cumbia. We're seeing something else, head banging, and people are jumping. So I definitely say that I've seen a lot of people throughout the 7 years of confusion, and they don't know what to do with themselves. But eventually, they give in and they're like, okay, this is something. And before you know it, you see them dancing and having a good time. So I definitely can say that it was like some huge cumbia beef, but and not even with other bands. I can't say that. I mean, I don't know about Marco, but I haven't really had anybody come up to me and say, well, what are you doing? This isn't cumbia, So thankfully.
Yeah, I mean, everyone that we've played with that that we've opened up for, that have opened up for us or whatever, like they all dig the band, and like it was a Motley. We're playing with those guys, The last tour we did before the pandemic was with them, and we haven't done a show
Yeah.
since. And this will be our first show, and it's gonna be with them again. You know what I mean? So, and yeah,
That was
and
a
so
good time.
many, and we went on tour with Mon Laferte too, and then like a few months later, they hit up Elena to go play congas with them, at the Grammys and then some other festivals and stuff. So it's like, it's more positive than negative, and the negative is it's not even a concern, No one's ever going to be happy with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
I'm curious, what you have found, since today we could actually look at videos from so many different parts of the world. I'm curious if you've seen anything similar to what you're doing anywhere in the continent. I mean, I've traveled to, as I said before, I've been to Colombia quite a few times, more than any other country other than Mexico, because I have family there, so I visit them almost every year, twice a year. But I'm sure you're familiar. In Peru, they created something called chicha, this sort of cumbia thing, right? That back in the 60s and 70s, more of a influenced by surf and by this kind of psychedelic thing going on in the Amazon. In Argentina,
we
they
played
have
with
some.
we played with Los Mirlos
Oh,
a few years ago.
you did?
Woo!
Those guys love La Misa Negra. So that was
Those are
awesome.
some
Wow.
cool guys. Very down to earth. Just we hung out. We were in Pittsburgh, right? And we were in Pittsburgh, and then we went. Oh, it was Chicago, and then we went to go get tacos afterwards. Had a good time with those guys, man.
That's great. Yeah, in Argentina they have something called, I don't know if you heard of this before, cumbia villera.
Yeah, yeah.
The villas are the poor, sort of the kind of poor neighborhoods, I guess you could say, in the suburban areas of of Buenos Aires and the big cities, and they have some incredible, like a lot of artists that play this cumbia thing in Argentina, which really kind of surprised me, But they have that thing going. In El Salvador, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Elena, but they have something called chanchona. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard of it, but I can't say that I've heard a lot
So
of the music.
there's actually a band in Washington, just near Washington D.C., called what's it called? I think Los Hermanos Lobo with a V. Los Hermanos Lobo. The
Lobo.
record was put out by Smithsonian Folkways a few years ago, and they play chanchona music. And you know why they call it chanchona? It's cumbia, basically. It's cumbia. But the chanchona is the upright bass. It's the upright bass.
Oh.
And since it's kind of hefty and heavy to carry around, that's what they call the chanchona, the upright bass. But they play violin, upright bass. I think they play accordion and percussion. And that's their equivalent of cumbia for them. But they call it chanchona. Música chanchona.
Violin, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know. I mean, I love the name in general.
In El
I'm going to have to
Salvador.
look some up.
Yes, look them up. Los Hermanos Lobo, Lovo. In Nicaragua, they have this cumbia influence where they play with marimba, with the marimba de arco, a kind of small marimba that they kind of wrap around the body like this. And then, of course, countless cumbia bands, Chico Trujillo in Chile, that plays their own kind of brand of cumbia. And it's funny, only recently in Colombia, I have seen a couple of cumbia bands, but as you probably know, cumbia died in Colombia in the 60s.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Have you seen any of this? The different manifestations of the cumbia, throughout the continent. And I just think it's so great that you guys in the Bay Area have come up with this other sort of brand of cumbia.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said Chico Trujillo. We play shows with him too, and he loved us. Oh, Celso Piña, big fan of La Misa Negra too. So
rest in peace.
From Monterrey, Mexico.
Yeah, so I mean, we've had some opportunities to play with some OGs and stuff, and for them to be like, okay, La Misa Negra is doing something right. That's like just encouragement to keep going, There are younger bands, that are doing like, taking a lot of liberties with the sound. In Colombia, I think they're from Colombia, the Cumbia Queers, aren't they? They're like, that's a straight up punk band that plays cumbia, like it's all guitars, maybe synths and stuff, And so there's and around the country, maybe more in the East Coast, there's some like younger bands doing like, more experimental things with cumbia and stuff. I haven't heard anyone do exactly, what we're doing. I think, we're making it a mission to be like, to play that authentic big band thing. And then, throw in some of that accordion rootsy, like Andres Landero type of stuff, but then do like songs like Acosadora, where like, what is that? I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you what kind of genre Acosadora is. All I know is that it's the product of a heavy metal guy who loves cumbia. You know what I'm saying? That's what that sounds like, So it's
like
also not. We're also not. It's not like we're going out of our way to like, how can I mix, hip hop with this? Like, it's not like so like thought out like that. It's just, when I write music, stuff comes out the way it comes out, and these are the songs, So it's just everything that's just in my DNA, in my blood and stuff, and it just comes out the way it comes, All I know is like every song that we do is a dance track, It needs to make people move, you know, you're not gonna hear a ballad from us, you know.
Elena?
Yeah. You know, honestly, I haven't heard anything else really that's like Misa Negra, which by the way, Marco, we should just like name it a whole different genre, you know,
Maybe we
develop
should.
into
Maybe we
it.
should.
Is it cumbia punk? Is it cumbia punk? I don't even know, but we need to think about this. We need to sit down. We need to think about this because that sounds kind of dope to create your own genre. If other people can figure out what's going on in your head and the other band members. It's like when Marco comes up with the songs, it's usually horns, and then we get together and everybody in one room, and then it just creates with our drummer and the bass player. It just creates this whole fusion